once again, Friday. Welcome to the podcast. Friday.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast. We're going to get started momentarily.
First choice.
But we want you to stick around with us.
First choice.
We got you covered. We got a couple more tunes we want you to hear. So stick around because the podcast is going to start soon.
Hello. Joffrey Jones here.
It makes me smile. Yes, we're going through some stormy weather. That's the fact we still need together. 'Cause I know we'll find the light on the other side. 'Cause we'll be just fine if we take our time. Let the sun shine. 'Cause we'll be just fine. Oh, we'll be just fine if we take our time.
Oh my God.
Let the sun shine.
No,
'Cause we'll be just fine.
that's crazy, bro. Why did this hold
I'm
me?
going underwater.
It's really like that.
I can breathe just fine. 'Cause you got me in my prime, though. And it feels so good. Yes, we're going through some stormy weather. That's the fact we still need together. 'Cause I know we'll find the light on the other side. 'Cause we'll be just fine if we take our time. Let the sun shine. We'll be just fine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine.
Once again, Friday. Welcome to the podcast. It's Cool and Talk.
Let the sun
Superman's Best Shot team in the building. You got your host, Marcus. You got your co-host, Focus, in the building. We're going to get started soon. Sit back, listen to some tunes. Got you in a good space and a good place. Right here on the podcast. Cool and Talk. Come get a taste. Yeah.
if we take our time. Let the sun shine. This will be just fine. Holy Ghost, we'll be just fine. If we take our time. Let the sun shine. We'll be just fine.
That's right. You know we're just fine. We got one more tune we're going to play for you. Then we're going to get started real soon right here Friday. Cool and Talk. Glad you could join us. Oh, yeah, summertime. You know, it's really been hot over the last month. But now we cooled down a little bit. But we're definitely not cooling down right here. This is Cooler Talk.
At 17 we fell in love. High school days. Love was so brand new. We took the vows of man and wife forever alive. I remember how we made our way a little greater. The times we prayed. Can't imagine that this love is through. Feeling the pain, girl, when you lose. Oh, it's too hot to stay. Gotta run for shelter, gotta run for shade. It's too hot to stay. Gotta cool the anger, What a mess we made so long ago. You were love of my love. I and I, we never took the time to stop and feel the need. Funny how those years go by, changing you, changing me. I remember love fever in our heart, girl, and in our minds. Can't imagine that the love you feel the pain, girl, when you lose. Oh, too hot, too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter, gotta run for shade. It's too hot, baby. Gotta cool the anger. What a mess we made. So long ago, you were love. Feeling the pain. Oh, too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter, gotta run for shade. It's too hot, baby. Gotta cool the anger from this mess that we made. It's too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter, gotta run for shade. It's too hot, so hot, baby. Gotta cool the anger. Oh, gotta do this mess we made. It's so hot, baby. Yeah, it's so hot. I just can't take it. I can't stand it no more, baby. We were lovers. We took our vows. Come in this way. But I know I've got to leave.
Once again, everybody, it's Cool Us Off Friday. I'm your host, Marcus. We got Flow Focus in the building. You know, Prince, he's on the side over here. We're bringing you Cool Us Off this Friday. You're in a good place, in a good space. And we want to get the podcast started, but before we do, we want to give some love and support to those that support this podcast, like Konos Restaurant, 16 Clinton Street, Newark, New Jersey, in Brick City. Mouth-watering cuisine, the best and finest you've ever tasted, you've ever seen. Tell them you heard about them from the podcast. See what they do. It'll be your first visit, but it won't be your last. Halsey News, 2 Prudential Drive, Brick City. Shahida in Santiqua. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Be glad to meet ya. Once again, Halsey News, take a visit. Go and check them out real soon. And the Fruit House at 764 Broad Street, Brick City. Johan and Ismail will be glad to take care of you. Fresh fruits, fruit juices, sea moss, bladderwrack, spices, herbs, ginger shots, beetroot shots, lemon drop shots. I'm telling you, they got you covered. That's the Fruit House right here. Brick City, 764 Broad Street, Brick City, New Jersey. Also, liquidmana.com for all your oxygen-related body needs. Liquidmana.com. Check them out. Get what you need right there soon. Also, networking for success.info
All the way
forward slash
dash
Groovology dash 360. That's right, that's right. Check out the thank you page when you click on that link. Definitely want to thank you guys for coming on and being part of us. And also leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Because we do value your feedback, your opinions, and we want to know what's on your mind so that we can kind of tailor the conversation of the podcast to something that might be a little along your lines. We always strive to do that. ProLogicStrategies.com does just that. Prince Taylor, aka Flo Focus, has that website up for you. I'm telling you, he's got the contact info there. He's got the working phone number for you there. Guess what's coming next? We got a new stream coming on ProLogicStrategies.com. That's right, keeping you up to date with all the current events and all of the Learning Lab materials that we provide here for you. That's right, absolutely at no cost. Check that out. Absolutely no cost for this news that we're bringing to you. And last but not least, lovely Leslie, right, with BearcatBody.com. BearcatBody.com. She came to New Jersey. That's right. She was here with us in person, up front, live. That's right. Everything for your health, full body, and especially for your eyes. That's right. Check out her website, bearcatbody.com. Also, check her out on TikTok, also on YouTube, and on Facebook. Check her out on all social media platforms. Find her real easily at Bearcat Body, at Bearcat Body. On all social media platforms, look her up at Bearcat Body. That's right. All right, without further ado, my friends, we're about to bring it to you. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. We do hope that you have invited your friends to come and check us out. Remember, we're on Mondays and Fridays, 6 p.m. both days. It never changes. And without further ado, welcome to the podcast. Once again, a journey further into civics. That's right, a journey further into civics. And today, we're bringing you once again Secrets to the Game Revealed. Secrets to the Game Revealed. And today, we're dealing with something that I know that some of us have heard, but we're going to give it to you again today. And explanations, definitions, clarifications, just ask. Presumption or presumpted or presumptive. Presumption. Presumption. Presumed until proven. Presumed until proven. Presumption until proof. Now, once again, I must say this, that the information and the opinions that we share here on this podcast are not necessarily those shared by the host or the co-host of this podcast. We simply strive to bring you information and news that you can use, but we do encourage everybody to vet this information, to look it up for yourself, to find out and be clear on the information that today you will hear. So with that being said, my friends, once again, a journey into civics, secrets to the game revealed. Today we have presumed versus proven or proven. Now,
You can't take this on top.
when you hear the word presumed, it comes in a myriad of different ways, and it comes with different connections. But one thing we know that we hear is that you're always presumed innocent until proven guilty. Presumed to be innocent, not known to be innocent, not guaranteed to be innocent. No, not at all. Presumed. Presumed. and not assumed, but presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now, the thing about this game, and before we get into presumptions and proof and all of this good stuff, this game, secrets of the game, what game is being played here, we'll let you know. It's called the Land of Make Believe. That's the game. That's the game zone. It's called the Land of Make Believe. And the reason it's called the Land of Make Believe is because it is a very real, made up place. Yes, the Land of Make Believe is a very real, made up place. Somebody came up with an image. That's kind of familiar. Imagery, image. Let us make in our image. Even way back there, it tells you. Yeah, the Land of Make Believe. Let's make it up. Let's make up something and let's overlay it on top of what's already here. So your living room actually becomes a fort or a fortress to fend off invaders and enemies that nobody can see but you. Your backyard becomes an adventure ground for swinging through trees on vines and fighting crocodiles and swimming in murky waters with dangerous aquatic life and running and jumping off of high mountains down into waiting pools of water that only you see and that only you know where they are because in your imagination you have created this place. And because you have used your imagination to do it, which is your private property, you have the right to engage in the creation that you just made. However, others can engage in it as well. Yes, they can. They have to ask your permission first, and you have to give them the okay in order to come into that beloved place that you have just created out of the image of your mind. But they can come in if you allow them in, or if you invite them in, because it is your creation. And because it's your creation, you have the right to do with your creation what you want to do. The only thing about this creation, this image, this land of make believe, is that it cannot violate anybody else's right to anything. It cannot. And how is that accomplished? Well, someone is inside of their own imaginary world and they try to apply the rules and the principles of that imaginary world to somebody who is not in that world, that's a violation. You cannot do that. No, 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 no. That's against the rules. Also, if you are outside of somebody's imaginary world and they're having fun in their own imaginary world, and you decide that you want to go in there and you want to change what their world is that they are imagining and creating and having fun in, no, you cannot do that either. Why? Because this world exists to somebody, and because it is somebody else's property, they do have the right to defend it. Yes, they do. Remember, right to life, liberty, and property. Yes, you have the right to your own property as long as you're not harming anybody else or harming or trying to harm yourself. And with that, I kind of beg to differ because if somebody really wants to harm themselves, they're going to harm themselves. Whether we're watchdogging them for 23 and a half hours and taking a half an hour break, that might be the time they go ahead and do it. But if they want to do it, they're going to do it. We may not want them to do it, but that can also be considered a violation of somebody's right. So these still waters do run deep, and we'll get into them today. So the imagery is the creation or is the product of the work that we call creation, which is the property of the one who created it, and they do have a right to it, to enjoy it, to use it, to engage with it, to expand it, and to even share it with others or to gift it to others. It's theirs. They have the right to do that. Now, let me bring you up to speed. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave the door swinging open on this one. But the Virginia Company of London, quite sure many of us do know what that company is doing business as today. But if you don't, I'll tell you if you want to know, if you really want to know. But the Virginia Company of London left the British Empire to come over to this place that many call by many different names, but just for the sake of this conversation, we'll say the North American continent. Just the continent, not the countries. That's another game. Get a book called A Game Called Countries. Take a read of that. Tell me what you think. A Game Called Countries. Okay, back to our subject here. So when the Virginia Company of London left the British Empire and decided, hey, we're not going to actually be doing what we do on the Isle, the British Isle, of the shores of the British Empire. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go somewhere else to somebody else's place, and we're going to do it over there. And because they understood the value of rights, tangible and intangible, tangible meaning the ground, the earth, what we walk on, the dirt, the rocks, the cement, the asphalt, the grass, the clay, the straw, the hay, the flowers, the bushes, the trees, the berries, the fruit, the vegetables that drop, that when we pick them up, we kneel on our knees. Those are tangible expressions of property. But you know what they did? They were very cunning and crafty and insidious. They used the intellectual property, which is intangible, which is something that really cannot be handled, it can't be seen, not really. It can't be heard, it can't be smelled, it can't be tasted, but it exists, and you have a right to it. So they use the intangible to overlay on top of something that was already here, but the intangible is invisible. You can't see it. The only way you know that it exists is because somebody decides to react or engage with it, and you wonder, what in the hell are they doing over there? Those people are crazy. Look at how they're running around and picking up invisible things and handing them to each other, and they're smart. What in the world is going on over there? Like the emperors do clothes, right? Okay. Well, that's what happened. The Virginia Company of London comes over to the North American continent at some point in time and decides that, well, there are people here. They've got this land, and we would like to set up here on this land, but we really can't do that. Not forcefully, because that would be frowned on, and even the British Empire would come at them full force for doing that because they were just looking for a reason. Any reason. So what ended up happening was they kind of talked to those who were living here, who were already inhabiting the North American continent, and they struck some deals. And they began to construct these deals on parchment and other ways, drawing symbols in the dirt and using, whatever could be used to communicate in written form. Agreements. Agreements. But here's the problem with the two trains of thoughts between the inhabitants in one place and the visitors who came from another place. They were not thinking along the same lines because the visitors are thinking about an overlay, something that does not exist. But if you are found to be operating in this made up land, this made up world, you are subject to its rules, and its rules can be enforced because it exists. And if you engage in it, you are subject to its rules. This is the land of make believe. Go back to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. They showed us on a television show for children a man sitting there in the real world, well, what we like to call the real world, with a trolley. Has a little whistle. Little piano thing goes when it starts rolling, and it rolls on the tracks into what? The land of make-believe with King Friday, Queen Sarah, Prince Tuesday, Lady Elaine, Lady Aberlin, and everybody else. All the game. You got a man dressed up in a dog suit. You got a lady who's dressed up like a fairy princess at times. And you got another guy who's just kind of there with a guitar sometimes. It's the land of make-believe. And it's ruled by a monarchy, a king and a queen who are hand puppets, giving orders to live sentient beings. You got a cat who speaks words and every other word is meow, 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 who's also a puppet, a hand puppet, a sock puppet. This is the land of make-believe. And guess what? People can't tell me that they don't believe in these things because people were watching the show. The children were watching the show. And they were talking about it. Sesame Street, the Electric Company, the Magic Garden, and of course, one that paved the way for a streaming communication device that we use today called Zoom. All made up. All made up. Characters, costumes, labels, other identities. It's all real. It is all real. Yes, it is. It's a very real place that we find ourselves stuck in. Now, let's go back a little bit to presumptions until proven. Now that we've got a picture of this land that's made up, this believable place that's just as real as anything else because somebody's imagery in their mind, we have some rules to this place. And the rules are this. This place can construct, it can build, it can expand, it can upgrade, it can tear down anything within its sphere as long as it does not damage or do serious injury or harm to any other living sentient thing. And it cannot hold any other living sentient thing against its will. Cannot hold you captive. It cannot make you stay within its confines. It cannot do that. But it seems to happen all the time. People seem to be stuck in this thing and can't get out of this game, the land of make believe. Continue to walk around the Monopoly board, going around and around and around, pass and go, collecting 200, only to get it taken well before you make it around the board. Doesn't that seem like life to us? Working and working and working until what? You can't work no more. And then when you can't work no more, what do? You pick up some part-time work to make ends meet. Hmm. Land of make believe. It's one of the rules. It's one of the rules. The Matrix, the movie, we saw it as entertainment, a lot of us, but it's not just entertainment. It's actually depicting something that is actually real. It is a facsimile, it is a simulation, but it is real. And you can feel in this facsimile, yes, you can. Oh, you can be touched. You can smell, you can taste everything that you can do in your own real, tangible place that is not made up. You can have the same tangible delights and treats and stimuli in this made up world. Why? Because this stuff is real and it can be anywhere. Food is real, water is real, people are real, words are real. All these things are real. They are immutable. They cannot be silenced, which is why in the land of make believe they fit so well because it just envelops all around these things. It kind of holds things like a cocoon. And if you're not careful, you will become entrenched and engrossed like a fly to fly paper and find it very difficult, if not impossible, to separate yourself from where you have found yourself to be. Now, I'm not going to go into this. I'm going to use this as a point of reference. So please, we're not going to expound on this. At least not from my point. You may, but it's not necessarily my view. Politics is a part of this made up world. Political aspirations and ambitions. It's all made up. Government, some deem it to be necessary. It's also a made up part of a bigger world that is imagery. It doesn't exist on the real plane like solidly. It is a creation that is acted out, just like on the movie screen, just like at a stage play, just like at a school play, just like if a musician is on a stage, they are singing, there are real notes coming out of their vocal cords, but there may be some other activities go on that are dreamed up out of somebody else's imagination because that does not happen every day in real life. It's not supposed to. So, the presumption exists because in the land of make believe, you cannot have concrete facts. The facts are on the moon. I'll say that again. In the land of make believe, you cannot have concrete facts. The only thing that can exist there is the immutability of laws, natural laws. What do I mean by that? Gravity still works in the land of make believe. They create the land of make believe. And if the creator of the land of make believe wants to go to the second floor of a building and jump off, I guarantee you he is going, or he or she is going to fall to the ground. The immutability of law exists everywhere. Gravity is immutable. The law of release and return is immutable. The law of centrifugal force is immutable. Centripetal force is immutable. The laws of polarity and magnetism are immutable. They exist without any support of their own. Or I'm sorry, support from any other outside force. They exist as supportive of their own and in their own rights. The law of quantum entanglement and quantum physics exists immutably. It cannot be defeated with an imaginary, made up jurisdiction or world or area or land. You can overlay carpet on top of a hardwood floor all day, but at the end of the day, there's hardwood floor underneath the carpet. The carpet is an overlay, just like the land of make-believe. So what happens in this land of make-believe is because you can't have cold, hard facts, there can only be presumptions. We suppose that this is true. That's a presumption. We think that this is correct. That is a presumption of correctness. We believe that you are the Father. That is a presumption. It is not proven. But in the land of make-believe, you can act on a presumption without proof because there are no concrete facts. And once there are concrete facts introduced, then the land of make-believe ceases to be a land of make-believe and now becomes more of a land of reality. But as I said earlier in the show, you cannot destroy somebody else's property. Made up lands such as this world of make-believe are somebody else's property. Now, I know this seems a little weird, but I'm going to tie it together for you right now. Think of it this way. You live in a house. Your house has doors. You open and close these doors to different rooms. Now, let's suppose someone who's a guest in your home decides that they want to take all of the doors off of the hinges in your home. Are you going to be okay with that? I think not. Why? Because they are altering the property that you possess from its original form into a form now that doesn't serve your purpose. That property is being destroyed in a sense, altered from its original functioning form. Can't do that. Cannot do that. You have the right to have your home intact the way that you see fit, the way that it functions properly for you. And nobody else can make the decision for you. And besides, that's real. The doors are real. They're not overlays. They're not pretend doors. No, you can't take the doors off the hinges and say, well, just pretend. No, that doesn't work. But when somebody makes something up, like playing charades, it's all made up. It's all pretend. It's really not there. It's only there in somebody's mind. So we have presumptions, presumed innocent until proven guilty. Why? Because you can't prove guilt in something that does not exist. You can't prove anything. There's only a presumption. Can you prove that this thing exists outside of your imagination? No, because there is no physical manifestation of it. And even if there were a physical manifestation of something that was created out of somebody's mind, guess what? Other people have to voluntarily engage with it, not through solicitation and coercion. And that's where we get caught, people. We're blending worlds. We're blurring lines. We don't even realize it. What are we doing? Well, we're giving more credit to things that don't exist. Not really. We're giving more credence to people who hold positions in offices that carry labels. Saying, oh yeah, the doctor. The doctor said this, the doctor said that. And I'm not saying that people don't study anatomy and biology and know how to heal and know how to help, but they also know how to do a whole lot of presuming, testing, if you will. Whole lot of that going on. They know how to tell people how to stay in the house because, oh, we got a pandemic going out here. We don't want you getting sick because it's for your safety. We care about you. Yeah, when did they start doing that? You mean to tell me they care about us so much that they want our homes attacked? They want us to stay in the house so that we don't get sick? Don't germs go through walls and through cracks and wood and underneath doors? Don't they go through porous materials such as linens, cottons, rayons, chiffons, silks? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Pretend. Pretend that there's something out here. Just like the war on poverty. Something that's made up. Can you see the war on poverty in action? Can you see poverty succumbing to this other force that's saying, you're not welcome here anymore? Can we see evidence of that? No, because it's made up. Can we see evidence of the war on drugs? No, because we got the people in the white coats at the corner of happy and healthy. Okay, let me leave that one alone. Okay. You get where we're going with this. Everything is a presumption. Everything's a presumption. A diagnosis ain't nothing but a presumption because it doesn't go deep enough to give you real cold, hard facts. And the anatomy of the human body is so complex and intricate that not everybody's body does the same thing the same way all the time. Our bodies course correct and relay and create neural pathways and other pathways on its own, which is why we're not cookie cutter the same. We don't react the same to everything. But the presumption is that we do. But can that be proven? No, it can't be proven. Anyone will tell you it's just a best guess. hmm Presumed innocent until what? Proven guilty? Well, in the court of law, yeah, they say, well, you're presumed innocent. Then if I'm presumed innocent, or if someone's presumed innocent, then why we got somebody up here trying to prove guilt? Because remember, in a land of make-believe, it's all around us, everybody. There is nothing to prove. It's all made up. Charades, if you will. Categories, anybody. It's all made up. When we were kids, what do? We made up cakes. We didn't have real cakes. We wanted some cake with some icing, but what do? We pretended that we had cakes. We made it up. If we had a right to do that, why? Because we weren't hurting anybody. We didn't force anybody else to join in our game. I mean, if people wanted to, if we offered them to join in, they said, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take a piece of cake. Then fine. But people, my friends, this is what is going on here. Right where we are today and right where we stand on any land mass that we find ourselves where our feet touches the ground somewhere, somehow. This is exactly what is going on today. There's a game called countries. There's a game called government. There's a game called politics. There's a game called war. There's a game called finance. There's a game called tax. There's a game called debt, poverty, sickness. All of these things are made up, but they are very real because they overlay on top of things that are concretely real. But they operate by their own rules, the rules of those that made them up. Just like the ones who seemingly won the battle can create the narrative of a historical tale according to their own ideas, presumed to be true, but it's only a presumption. It doesn't go past the presumption. The courts, let me let this out the bag right here. The courts operate in two different jurisdictions. They walk in two jurisdictions at the same time. Yes, they do. One is a real jurisdiction that deals with natural law. The other is a made up jurisdiction that deals with concepts and constructs. Things like jaywalking, things like assault and battery instead of just mutual combat or sport. What do they call it? They don't call it lying. Oh, they call it falsification. They made it up. But we know what it really means. You lying. Telling the truth. You a lie. That's what that is. But you try that in that world. No, 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 no. They don't really say lie. They say falsified, fraudulent. Mm-hmm. Just some of the things they say because they made it up, and they want everybody to play this game, to be a participant rather than a director on the side, because you can take the role of the one calling the shots if you want to. It's just very simple. It is that simple. But it ain't that easy to accomplish and maintain, but it is that simple. All these constructs, and I know it seems far-fetched, and I know the question ringing in some people's minds is, well, if we didn't have this, then how would this happen? How would we be able to maintain this? If we didn't have this, how would this be effective? If we didn't have all of these rules and laws, then everything would just be in anarchy and total chaos. And to that, I say that that's made up because somebody told us that. But has that been proven to be the thing that happens constantly on a daily basis over and over, just like us breathing? It's proven that, yeah, we take breath, we breathe every day, in and out, in and out. We blink our eyes, we taste, we smell. These are things that are immutable facts. They're proven. They're not presumptions. We can prove all day long that we can't continually hold our breath. We have to breathe. We have to, or else we cease to exist. But can we presume that we can hold our breath all day and not be affected by it? Sure, you can presume it because you don't prove a fact in something that's imagery that's not concretely real. But factually speaking, is that going to fly? No, not at all. So what do we have here? We have a construct of presumptiveness, things that we presume, things that we can't prove, that we're not really trying to prove. But here's the problem. Many times we try to prove things in a world that is built on falsehoods. We want to prove that we're not guilty. How can you prove a negative? Can anybody please school me on that? 'Cause I haven't been able to do it. How do you prove a negative? I don't know. Maybe somebody else can pull my coattail and let me know how that's done.
Extra hype.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
To answer the question,
How
it's
let a
proven a
person reveal
loss.
they? Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak before you.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that you were ready to speak up. I'll let you go first.
Oh, you let a person reveal themselves. A person tell a lot when they speak, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yes, absolutely. And
person tell it. I mean,
oh,
I'm not the person that's a liar. That person is. They can reveal themselves when they speak. That devil who speak, they tell the truth of who they are.
Uh huh.
Okay,
This is true.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna let Prince speak.
no, you make a great point there, because really I'm getting into proving a loss, right? So when someone speaks up, then they actually have to, they're making a claim. You see what I'm saying? But then the claim has to be backed up with proof somehow. For example,
Hmm.
when you have a fire, the insurance company says, "How do I know
Hmm.
you had a big screen TV? How do I know this bed was $1,200?
Hmm.
How do I know that you lost these many dollars in sentimental value of this or that? I don't know that for sure. You got to
Hmm.
prove it to me. I I
Right.
presume you lost things, so I'll give you this. But everything else I can't do much about, right? So we're making a claim when we speak up, but then we have to prove the loss, right? So in commerce, that's a receipt or, if you will, an invoice, right? It's a contract, and then it's the settling of the contract. It's the record of the transaction. It's not just the existence of a transaction, it's the actual processing, you know? It's the step by step logistics, and then the misstep or the disconnect therein. Let's say for weeks and weeks, years even. We have a great track record of getting a truck across town and whatnot. Now, using a new supplier, it's harder to get across town. Or using a new trucking company, it's harder to get across town. The only difference is now they've got new drivers driving these different kinds of trucks. So it's got to be the drivers because it was easy before. You know, so now we've got proof of the loss because I've got this track record of me getting this shipment here before 3 o'clock. Now it's not
Mm.
here until 6, and I can prove to you that I missed out. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. This is Joffrey. I think the question was, how do you prove a negative? And if a negative is something that does not exist, it cannot be proven that it does not exist. You know, you're presumed innocent uh, until proven guilty, but you cannot prove yourself innocent because if you didn't do it, you cannot prove you didn't do what you're accused of doing. There's no way, no how. So uh, you cannot prove a negative. I agree. Well, I think that's what Marcus was getting at, and I would have to agree 100%. I yield.
Good point there. Good point.
Permission to speak.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Come on in, Brother Bay. Come on in.
Well, you can prove a negative just like you can prove a positive. If you go into science, you're dealing with laws of opposites. And in the law of opposites, you have affirmative, and then you have a non-affirmative. You have hot, you have cold. As I said before, you have positive, and you have negative, like a battery. It's got a positive pulse. This also has a negative pulse. This world operates in the laws of opposites, laws of polarity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have something, you have to have the exact opposite of the something that you have. That's just the way the world operates. And I rest.
Thank you, Brother Bay, for coming in and sharing that with us. Always love to hear your wisdom and your information. Rock solid. But
Can I say I'm confused?
I'm going to clarify. I'm going to
Okay,
clarify.
thanks.
Okay. So let me change the wording that I'm using. Okay. Let me change the wording because that will make a difference. Instead of saying let's prove a negative, no. Let's prove something that is pretend, not concrete, not in the real world, undetectable by any means whatsoever, than someone who is acting it out. Can we prove something that's pretend? Can it be measured? Can it be proven? Can it be validated if it's make believe? Well, I don't believe so. Because to engage in it, and I'm going to take it there, is to operate on faith to a degree. What is faith? The evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Not seen. Mm-hmm.
Take it on faith. You don't have to see it. You can't hear it. You can't touch it. You can't taste it. Just take it on faith. Just trust me. You can trust me. Take it on my word. Even though my word has no track record with you, you can't validate or verify, like Prince was saying, that my word is even any good. Because the only thing I can give you is something you can't validate. I made it up. It's called make believe. And remember, we left from the era of to believe to the era of to know. So, in the land of make believe, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, the Magic Garden, hmm everything that does everything, but it's not factual, it ain't true, and it doesn't have any power unless you engage it as if it is true or factual.
Yeah, now you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, I'm so glad that we're in the
Your phone is breaking up, Brother Bay. Brother Bay, you there?
can
Your signal is fading.
can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Um, what I was saying is that I am so thankful that we're out of the age of belief, the Piscean age, and we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of to know. Because there was so much damage being done based on people's belief.
Mm-hmm.
Belief that couldn't be substantiated.
Mm-hmm.
Belief that's based on faith, something that you can't prove.
Uh-huh.
And to base your life upon that is ludicrous.
Yep.
And so now we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of to know.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are still in that age of belief
Mm-hmm.
because we're in the beginning of the age of to know. So there's still a lot of residue that
Mm-hmm.
people still have based on belief.
Yes.
Eventually, that's going to all die out as we get more and more into no. But
Mm-hmm.
see, no means you have to take the time to find out. See, belief was kind of lazy. You just believe it. That's it. Boom. That's all it took.
Mm-hmm.
But to know, you got to investigate. You gotta have the energy needed to find out what you know. And do you really know it? Because you're gonna have people challenging you. You thought you knew it, but then you talk to somebody who knew more. So there's a degree that you have to be in this age of to know. And I'm so glad because I'm sick and tired of people and their beliefs. You know, I really don't care what you believe in. I mean, you can believe in whatever you want to, but you got to come to me with what you know, and I yield.
Thank you for that, Brother Bay. Yes, yes. Please.
Can I share this? Can I share this? Because I was listening from the beginning,
Sure.
and I believe the core message from tonight's show basically had to do with the made up legal system as well as the politrics.
Hmm.
So, predicated on the legal system came the question, how do you prove a negative? And so, if we deal with what the core understanding of tonight's show was, then you cannot prove a negative, is what comes out of it. I mean, now if we want to try to change the trajectory of the show, maybe we can come up with something else. But I think when a host has a trajectory where it's moving, we should stay within that. I think I could be wrong. I don't know, and I yield.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Joffrey. All of this works toward the point that I'm getting at because there's many different facets to it, and there are some segues that we can attach with this because we can go around like spokes that connect, a rim, a wheel to its rim. But I'm going to clarify now. I'm going to give an example of where this is going and how all of this can come together, like spokes to a wheel. So if you all will just give me a moment, I'm going to give you an example of belief, of knowing, of presumption, and proof. And the land of make believe and its limitations and the real reality and its super Saiyan power over this made up land's limitations. Let me share something with you, and this is just one tangible thing. I shared this before that the court system operates two jurisdictions. One is natural law, which is things that you can prove, rights that are inherent, rights that you came here with. Nobody can write out what your rights are, but I'm gonna tell you what. In that document called the Constitution, that doesn't give us rights. Those first 10 amendments or the changes, those first 10 changes that were added to it, were added to that document so that that land of make believe would not run amok and think that it was reality. That's why they're put there. Those are limitations to let you know, hey, you can't do that. You can't do this to people. No, none of this can happen. Because then, if those weren't there, then that thing would be reality. And they'd be all over the place. Forget it. It'd be lunacy everywhere. So here's what I'm saying. And hear this good. Expressions made to solidify and to validate facts are the Achilles heel to this made up world that looks like, appears to be, and paints in our minds a belief mm, that that is the only game in town. That we have to do things that way. That everything we see in this made up construct is what drives our society and our communities, and it does not. And here's the reason why it's not the genuine article. There are certain things that if you look, they aren't there. As I've stated before, if you go into a court building, go to pull up a case file that you may have been involved with, maybe some years ago, or maybe you had a friend who had a case. Case is a public record. You can pull up the documents from the case and tell me if you find the embossed raised seal of that court on any of those documents, especially the ones for service of process and the ones that are orders, judgments, decrees, sentences, any of that, warrants, any of those. Tell me where you see that raised seal at. I'm going to tell you why. Because those seals, according to immutable laws, are expressions of authenticity. In other words, it's the difference between having a fake dollar and a real one. Everything looks almost identical until you get to something that you notice is not the same between both of them. And if these documents that are supposed to be validations of facts and authentic so that there is no mistaking, it's the genuine article, it's not a counterfeit, and it is reality. If those insignias do not appear on those documents, then those documents have no power and authenticity whatsoever. Think of everybody who's been kicked out of their home through a foreclosure action, who's been evicted from a place where they stayed and made a homestead, who has been brought up on quote unquote charges that have not been document sealed by the district attorney's office and the clerk of the court. Just like when a notary seals a document that you present to them and sign in front of them, makes the document authentic. It's the real deal. It holds weight. But what has happened is the lines have been blurred, our eyes glaze over, and because we're so used to looking at things and not meticulously paying attention to all the details, we gloss over and we undo our own positions. People who get brought up, quote unquote, on charges usually have no idea that a game is being played. Because in a world that's made up, everything is almost identical to the real world, even in the rules. You can't harm, you can't injure, you can't destroy, you cannot use trickery or deception, you cannot use lies to gain an advantage. Can't do it because it's null and void. It's a violation of the rules. So when these documents, I'm just using the court as an example, are not authenticated with raised and embossed seals that every state Supreme Court will actually have in their rules. Their rules of court say that these things must be here because they validate due process, they ensure due process in all matters at law, not just in some, in all. These things must be present in order for it to be given any validation, any power, any credence. But you know what? If we don't know this and we never bring this up, then we are presumed to be playing the game. And we are presumed to be doing it of our own free will. Until we prove otherwise, take a look, a deep dive at what we're looking at. What are we looking for? Validation, authenticity. Case in point, look at your birth certificate. Doesn't it have a raised seal on it? I'm serious. I'm not making this up. Look at your birth certificate. If you can't look at it, feel it. Tell me, does it have a raised seal on it from the registrar's office? The registrar of deeds. It has a raised seal on it. It makes it authentic. This is not a counterfeit. This is not a fake. It's got everything that it needs in order to be validated, to be taken seriously, to be given weight. Why? Because everyone has agreed that this is so. This is what makes things authentic, palpable, serious. Without it, it's nothing. It's nothing at all. And it can be challenged at any time. And it's not hard to challenge it and get it to go away because there's a remedy for that. It's called abatement. Abatement, a very simple process that says, this is a bunch of bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why it is. This is missing, this is missing, this is missing, compared to the genuine article, which describes that it contains this, 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 and this. Now, does this contain that? I think not. Abate this. Throw it in the trash. Shred it. Throw it out. It's good for nothing. Don't even keep it in the records. Purge it from the system because it doesn't belong there, because it's not real, and I'm not playing in the land of make-believe. I'm playing in the real world. I'm in reality. Now, I'm treating that individual as though they take orders from me, because now I see the game. Is it making sense now? This whole game is being played. Governors writing executive orders. Presidents writing executive orders. And every seal that is used specific to every department that uses it. So one department cannot use another department seal to validate its own papers. Can't do it. Because every single department that authenticates anything has its own seal prescribed, and it is written as to what it is, how it appears, its size, its shape, its wording, and its insignias. And everything must be followed to the letter, or else it is not credible. It's not to be trusted. It's not to be taken seriously. It's not enough for us to believe that we're right, but we have to know that we're right. We have to know why we are right and know that we can prove that we are right. And when we can do that and present that, then guess what? They back up. Because now they're violating, because they're trying to impinge on a right that that individual has, which is the right to expression, the right to carry out life the way that you see according to your own edicts and your own terms, as long as you don't hurt anybody else, and especially the right to be let alone. Very simple core maxims and principles, but we got to know what we're looking at, what we're looking for, comparing what we're looking at, the differences, the nuances. What are we looking for? What are we looking at? What are we searching for in these things? It's not just looking at it and saying, oh, the words. No, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's what authenticates it. A judge can sign any order that he wants, a judgment, anything. He can sign any decree that he wants. It ain't got no power until the clerk seals it. Hands down, that's it. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up in your court rules. Look it up. That's the Achilles heel. And you know what? In the land of make believe, they ain't got to tell us that because they don't roll with that. Why would they give away their own game? They don't want us to know this. They don't want us to know this. But at the same token, you got to be careful because you, as an individual or as a core group of people with a like mind, can come at them and say, hey, this bunch of BS. No, 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 no. You missed the mark here. Look, your rules say this and you follow your rules, right? You're supposed to follow your rules, right? That's what you said, right? Okay. Show me where you follow these rules right here. And everything in here appears where it's supposed to appear because it doesn't. So who's in violation now? And there are benevolent forces that take notice to all of this. And they are very serious when it comes down to setting the record straight. Trust and believe me. They've been seen in action. And trust me, when they come full force, listen, they don't play. They don't joke around. They keep the balance. And they dole out what they have to dole out. This is the land of make-believe. They want to make you believe. They don't want you to know. That's what they want. Keep on playing our game. Just believe. Don't stop believing. Although that was a nice song. That really was a nice song. But at any rate, all they want you to do is believe. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to find out, discover. They don't want you to search. They don't want you to read. They don't want you to study. They don't want you to comprehend. They don't want you to know anything. Because to know means that you don't have to believe their BS anymore. You don't have to accept it. You just let it go. And they say, but don't you like what we have here? I can't see a thing. I can't see what you got there. I don't see anything you've made. Where is it at? It's right here. What color is it? Has no color. What shape is it? Has no shape. How tall is it? How wide is it? How deep is it? How far down does its foundation go into the ground? What is its latitude and longitude? Doesn't exist. It's not there. It's only there because we play the game believing it's there and it has power. But once we know what it takes for that thing to have power, and it is stripped of those things which would give it power, which is authenticity, then we have a powerful position that we exercise, express our power with proof. So when they say, well, you can take a plea, and if you take the plea, the judge could go easy on your sentence because, see, once you get in that land of make-believe and start playing that game, guess what? All that authentication goes straight out the window because it's not necessary because it is presumed that you are voluntarily playing this game. With your life, no doubt, in your very existence, it's a presumption. So, in a presumption, nobody can really get in trouble for violating anything because there is no violation because we are choosing to play a game that we don't know we're playing. Last but not least, run out to the polls and vote. Okay, that's what you do. That's what you do. But if you're really not satisfied with the people that are supposedly in office to help to make things better by the will of the people, and you really want to go to the polls and express yourself, why don't you just write in a name in the ballot, in all the ballots? Let these people know, no, we don't want you. Write in Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker, Daffy Duck, Mighty Mouse, Felix the Cat, and on down the line. Who do you want for senator? Betty Boop? Cast those votes. Let them know we don't want any of the above on this ballot. I mean, if you're really dissatisfied, because to quote unquote believe that someone coming in is going to change this unbroken system is to operate without knowing. This system isn't broken, people. It operates the way that it was intended to operate. There's nothing wrong with it. There is no fixing it. That's the way it operates. And to try to fix somebody else's creation when they created it to do a thing is a violation. And that's where they can get us. See, we got to be savvy. We got to know this stuff. You can't destroy somebody else's property, even if it's intellectual. They have a right to it, and so do you. You have a right to yours. They just don't want you to know that you have a right to yours or to know that this is the wool that they're pulling over people's eyes. They just want you to believe. Oh, that's right. Just put your money in the collection plate. It's your rent money. Hey, don't even worry about it. You're going to get it back tenfold from where? Just believe. Believe. That's all you got to do is believe. Believe that, what? That this place that's asking me to put my rent money in this collection tin is somehow going to manifest 10 times that I'm in the wrong profession. I need to come over here and work. Give me a job. I want to see this. I want to see this. Do I believe that if I walk in front of a Mack truck that's moving at about 70 miles an hour, that I'm going to take the hit and keep on walking the way that I strutted across the street? Or do I know that that's a foolish thing to do and that I might not want to do that? This is the game that's being played on us. Mind games, brain games, manipulations. And oh, they are very good at doing it. Very good at doing it. We got to take notice, people. I'm going to tell you something else. They're writing up all of this legislation. Do you know that that's all also made up too? You can buy into it if you want to. That just keeps the game going. It never ends. But of course now I was informed of this, and it makes sense. They're not putting that out before election time. No. That thing ain't going to be released until after the elections are over, and I'm quite sure that you all can guess why. So the game can continue on. Because if they put it out before the votes, you think they're going to get voted back in? See the game, people. See the game. Peep the game. Doesn't have your best interest at hand because it's property of somebody else. And guess what? Like I said, It's not broken. It's just constructed the way it is to do what it does. So stop trying to fix something that ain't broke. Pull back from it. Operate at arm's length. Operate in trust. Cover it with an estate. Combine it with a will. Put it in a holding custodianship. Layer it. They want to play that game, you play one too. But don't try to fix what ain't yours. It's violation. Just like they violate us. But we have to know what to do. We can't believe in people who come in here and fix the problem. It's nothing to fix. That's where we get it. That's where we get off of it. Trying to fix something, trying to turn something into something that it was never intended to be. We got to stop that. We got to be responsible for our own. We got to do what we got to do for us. We can't sit up here and expect somebody else's stuff to work in our favor. It never was intended to in the first place. Stop giving credit where credit ain't due. Stop acting on faith and start acting like we know. Now, I'm going to ask my man, Flo. I know you're in the building, brother. You might be a little bit busy right now, but I want to ask you, do you want to chime in before we
Uh,
get ready to close in?
no, listen, you did a great job tonight. I wanted to stay out of it as much as I could just so that we can make sure you're giving that good
Yeah.
information and I don't want to muddy the waters with too much of my meandering. So you did a great job. And I'll wait for the closing to say anything. I appreciate it.
All right, Flow Focus. Thank you, brother. You're always in the background. You're always on the wings. You're always doing something to make things be the way that they need to be. And we definitely do appreciate your efforts and your work, even though it's unseen and, it's not in the forefront, but very important nonetheless. And everybody, I just want to let you know that that man does very, very important things. Always, always, always integrating, always developing, always strategizing. And for that, I'm grateful. And for all of us, to you, Prince, we're grateful as well for everything you do. And at this time, I just want to open the floor one last time for anybody else who might want to chime in before we get ready to do our culmination. If anybody else would like to share, um, if you have a comment, you got a question. Okay. That
Now,
being said,
now, I'm going through stuff with their legal system that I
yes,
never wanted to be a part of.
yes.
Okay, and I did that thing where I refused to plead guilty or not guilty, and my temporary lawyer at the time that I did not choose proved to be the judge that adjudicated the case. And even in the appeal brief, the lawyer that I paid the $3,000 to didn't think that was an issue to bring up. So, but like you say, their system is not broken. Their system is set up the way their system is set up. Now, you just shared with me, because I don't vote. I don't want to be a part of their system. But like you said, one who does vote, they can always write in candidates, and I don't think people realize that. They can write in a candidate of their choice, even their pooch, or their cat, or Mr. Hat, or
That's
whatever.
right.
They can write in a candidate. I just don't vote, period, because my intent is to say I don't want to be a part of their system. I yield.
Very good points. And unfortunately, until that system is, let's say, encompassing and only with the people that want to be a part of it, we're going to have to operate at arm's length until we can actually extricate completely. And that's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight. But until that happens, there are other ways and other strategies to keep them at bay because we have a whole lot of ability. We have a whole lot of power. We just don't have a knowledge, ooh, of that power. See how everything ties together.
Yeah, Brother Marcus,
Yes, Brother
you just made my point.
Ben.
You just made my point, and you interject the words of my podcast as knowledge is the new power. That's what it's always been about, knowledge, the proper use of knowledge. And you're absolutely right about their system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not broke.
Nope.
It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. And
Mm-hmm.
that was to take what was not theirs and try to legitimize their theft.
That's right.
And too many of us are participating
Mm-hmm.
in that fantasy.
That's right.
But myself and others are completely sick and tired of the illusion. We don't want no part of that illusion at all. In law, it's called de facto versus de jure. Look it up. And we're operating from a de jure point of view, as opposed to most of our people are operating de facto. Look up those two law terms. And so there is people who have organized themselves around a state, a state that was created by their ancestors for the very thing that you said, Marcus, to protect our human rights from those who choose to violate our human rights. But just like everything else, it takes knowledge. It takes to know that knowledge. You know, as we've been implementing the knowledge against the United States of America, they have confirmed their unlawfulness. That's what their problem is. They are outlaws, even in their own system. And so that's why we had to get out of a system that was not based on justice. Because when a system is not based on justice, it's unjust. And no justice is no peace. And that's why, especially our people, are not at rest. They're not at peace because they still want to, as unjust as this system is, They won't do what's necessary to get out of that system. They would rather stay in that system hoping that it will change. But just like you said, brother, in conclusion, just like you said, it ain't broke. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. So if you don't like what they designed, then it's your right to get out of it, because it's not going to change. And that's why we're not wasting our time trying to work in their confinements, trying to work in their constraints. We have enough evidence indicating that these people are not capable of running a just state. We have made that determination, and that's why we decided to get out. And I will suggest other brothers and sisters learn how to do the same. And I rest. And Marcus, as always, I appreciate you giving me the time to express myself. Peace.
Thank you, Brother Bay. Thank you for taking the time to share with us and with the listening audience as well. And that goes for everybody, listeners and people who also express on the podcast. We would like for you to walk away from these discussions with something that you can act on, you can move on. We just don't want you to hear it and think about it. We want you to actually kind of go into it. Go into your everybody has a phone. Most of us can talk to our phone. Hey Google, give me information about so and so and so. Hey Google, what's the difference between a presumption and proof? It'll tell you. It will tell you. Hey Google, are court documents, official court documents, authenticated by seals? It'll tell you. It'll tell you. It's immutable. Those are things that cannot be changed. They stand. But if someone don't want you to know this and they want you to believe what they're telling you, then of course they're going to hide it as much as they can, which is a violation. Now, you have the right to everything. You have rights to everything. No one on this existence plane can take a right of yours, but they can try to violate it. They can try to violate it, or they can violate it. And that's going to be another journey into civics when we continue Secrets to the Game Revealed. Now, at this time, I want to open the floor to the podcasters that I have on the line, and I want to give you guys an opportunity to announce your show. So you got the floor. All righty. If we have no podcasters on the line, we'll go once. We'll go twice.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and speak up.
All right.
Since everybody knows that I'm on the line, and everybody should know that I have a podcast. This, for those who may not know, this is Brother Watley Bay, and I host the podcast Knowledge is the New Power. We come on every Sunday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just like the title of the show implies, I give out knowledge that empowers us. Also, every third Saturday of the month, I have the Sultan of Morocco coming in to speak with the people to give us the latest updates of the very thing that Marcus has mentioned for those of us who are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Correct.
And we want to get out of this system that we're sick and tired of. Every third Saturday of the month, the Sultan of Morocco will share the knowledge in doing so. And again, Brother Marcus, I thank you so much. Peace.
Excuse me, Brother Bay. Did you give out Central Time or did you give out Eastern Time? Because you said 3:45.
3:45 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, if I said Central, then I meant Eastern. 3:45 Eastern Standard Time.
It's 4:45.
4:45.
4:45 Eastern Daylight Time.
Great. See, I got some listeners out there. I appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Oh, I listen every Sunday, but it's 4:45.
Yes. Go ahead.
Eastern Daylight Time.
There you go.
You heard it. You heard it.
Go right ahead, Mr. Joffrey. Go right ahead, Mr. Joffrey. Correct him.
And I stand corrected. Thank
Brother
you guys.
Bay got background singers. Go on with your going forward, bro. Go on.
Go ahead, Mr. Joffrey.
Okay, brother.
All right, everybody. And with that being said, following this podcast, we'll have Brother Edward. He's coming on with his show. It's called Thy Will Be Done. All right. That's at 8 p.m. So once this podcast is over, everybody, please clear the line so we can clear out the room for Brother Edward to do the setup at 8 p.m. tonight, right? Following this podcast, please come on back in, invite some friends. That's what we're about right here, okay? Want everybody to get every good morsel that is coming out of this network. Also, I'm going to announce the shows for tomorrow. There's a Saturday at 7 a.m. We have the prayer call with Miss Carol Lucille. 12 noon, we have Actualizing with Your Highness. 2 p.m., we have Consequence and Benefits with Brother HC. 4 p.m., we have Soul Liberator, Mama Mahassan. 6 p.m., we have Grown Folk Talk with the CEO, Forrest Nance. And tomorrow at 8 p.m., we have Mr. Tony Moore. So those will be our shows for tomorrow. I want to thank you all for coming on. And as usual, everybody, once again, I must announce this August 16th, Grown Folk Talking is having their Disease Prevention Convention Health Forum, August 16th, 12 noon to 6 p.m., right here in Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, at the Salvation Army located at 699 Springfield Avenue. We definitely want you to share this far and wide with many people. Please tell your friends, your family, people that you work with, come on out. We got 6 hours and we got over 20 speakers. I'm one of them as well. So I'd love to meet you guys there. And also the vendors that are going to be there. You're going to definitely want to come up and support them, as well as they've got things that are edible. They've got other things that they do that can help you with their health and all kinds of different information and resources. So it's going to be a gala event. So please, please make sure that you spread this information far and wide to other people. And with that being said, turning it over to my man, Flo Focus. You got the last word, my brother.
Yes, sir. Man, listen, again, tonight was an amazing chance for us to step further down this yellow brick road until we get to that man working the levers behind the curtain. Pay no attention to him until then. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you all for showing up. And I want to give you guys a few updates here because from tonight and forward, every episode is going to be recorded and ready for you to view on YouTube. Okay, the live is going to be on Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube all at once. So every week, if you guys are viewing that, then I can start putting visuals up there We can have different advertisements for upcoming events and things like that. And it can be a lot more, vibrant for our listening audience. You know what I mean? And man, guys, it's always a pleasure for you guys hanging out with us, because I want to make sure that we're giving you guys the best experience. But you guys give such good input, whenever you guys connect with us on here and you guys are part of the conversation, it always builds into something so much more than we expected. So I'm happy that you guys get to look back and listen to what you've said, and we can continue this conversation moving forward because I want to build upon the things that we're saying and not just kind of leave things in the open so that we forget them and then we come back to them and have to reiterate every time. So I just think that for archival purposes and for reference and even for promotion, guys, we're going to have everything on YouTube starting tonight. And, mark your calendars, guys, because we'll be here every Monday and Friday. Okay. But remember that this month we have a fifth Friday. So what does that mean, Marcus? Fan, fan, fan. We start doing the blows and whistles. It's like the secret word on Pee Wee's Playhouse. Everybody goes crazy because it's flip side Friday this month, guys. So there's going to be games, prizes, giveaways, the whole nine. So stay tuned to prologicstrategies.com/news for more updates about what's going on with this podcast and even my streaming. I'm doing streaming from time to time, so keep an eye on all of my social medias for that. So I just want to say again to everyone, thanks so much for joining us, okay? And listen, remember, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, good night, everybody.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good Lord.